Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I have some more Litra gear that I want to discuss. So that's what I intend to do in today's video. So far I've published detailed YouTube reviews of the LitraTorch, the Litra Pro, as well as the LitraTorch 2.0. In this video I'd like to focus my attention on the LitraTorch 2.0 Drone Edition. So if you're into drones or like following the drone industry, stick around because there's going to be some useful information in this video. So first, let's quickly run through this light and discuss its specs. Then I'll show you how you can mount a pair of headlights onto your drone of choice. All right, let's hop to it. Okay, so out of the box, let's see what you get. Don't expect this to be an elegant box opening because I don't do that. Okay, let's get that out of the way. Out of the box, you get the light. This is the Drone Edition LitraTorch 2.0. It's almost identical looking to the Litra 2.0, the LitraTorch 2.0, but there are some differences, and we're going to get to those differences here in just a second. But for now, we're just talking about what's in the box. So you get the light, you get the diffuser. This diffuser is magical. You've heard me rave about it in my previous videos. This thing just makes the light so buttery and silky smooth, and it's essential for, video interviews where you're filming people's faces. When you're filming faces, you don't generally want a bunch of bright lights just bashing them in the face. You want to soften that light, and that's exactly what this diffuser does. So this piece of equipment, number one. Then you also get a GoPro camera mount. This enables you to affix your LitraTorch onto a GoPro or anything with GoPro type accessories. You also get a DSLR hot shoe mount. You can put this on top of any camera. Doesn't matter if it's a Canon, Sony, Panasonic, Nikon, and beyond. So those are two really handy mounts that come in the package. Additionally, you get this belt clip. The belt clip just slides on the back of the light and gives you some more mounting options. Then you have, of course, the USB charger that charges the light. Fun little fact, these lights can actually run off external batteries. So if for some reason you find that the internal battery of this light isn't enough for you, maybe you have a long video shoot and you want to just not worry about battery life, you can plug this in to your little LitraTorch. Just like so. Plug this into a big external battery, and then you never have to worry about this thing dying on you. So, Litra, I really dig that. And then last but not least, you get some metallic plates that have 3M sticky backing on them. I'm actually not sure why they included these in the Drone Edition, because the Drone Edition does not have a magnetic back. The LitraTorch 2.0 has a magnet built in the back, so you can stick it onto metal surfaces, but the Drone Edition got rid of that magnet strategically because drones and magnets, they don't mix too well. If you're new to flying drones, here's a little pro tip. Magnets, as well as wireless routers and just big metal surfaces, sometimes make your drone fly wonky. So Litra is combating this by getting rid of the magnets in their Drone Edition lights. So this entire bundle that you see in front of you costs about $90, so that's what you can expect to pay. Just like every other Litra product that I've ever held in my hands, the Drone Edition light has an exceptional build quality. The LitraTorch 2.0 Drone Edition is a very solid light. It's made of metal, it's heavy, not too heavy, you can still fly it on your drone, but it just feels like it's made with a lot of thought, maybe with a lot of love. And this is nice because when you're sending stuff up in the sky, you know that sometimes those things malfunction and fall out of the sky. And this light is strong enough that I feel you can drop it numerous times and it'll still work. Now obviously the goal is not to drop your light, but I'm just saying that if you do drop it, you're not just gonna throw away 90 bucks. This light will probably last. Other features of this light include 2 1/4-20 tripod mounts. So again, you can put your hot shoe in one mount, You can put your GoPro in another mount. You can use this to mount your light onto a tripod or a light stand, and having two of those mounts is really nice. In fact, I wouldn't mind two more, but two is enough. Let's not get carried away, right? This light is also waterproof up to 20 meters or 60 feet. So if your drone dives into the ocean, your drone will probably die, but your light will be as good as new. The lens of the light features 16 bright LED bulbs, and the color temperature that they output is 5700 Kelvin. So that's essentially like the color of an outdoor environment. So it's more of a blue light. Finally, the drone edition light is marked with some drone propellers on the power button. And you can see that when I turn the power button on, the propellers illuminate. And this just tells you again that this is the drone edition light and that there's no magnets in it. So for comparison's sake, I have a LitraTorch 2.0 on the left, and you can see there's just a little circle that marks that it's the original Litra light. It has the magnetic back, and then you also have the propellers, which indicate that this is the drone edition. This little feature will help you keep straight which light is which. As for the light itself, it produces a very wide beam, which is good because when you're flying a drone at night, you're going to want to see as much as possible, and you're also going to want others to see where you're going and where you are. So this bright, wide beam of light will help you see and will help you be seen. Quick disclaimer here, the FAA has very strict guidelines for operating UAVs at night, so please make sure that you review all the rules and regulations before you fly in the dark. Please, please, please do your part to be a responsible drone pilot, because it affects the entire industry, it affects every drone pilot out there, and you just don't want to make a bad name for yourself or other people within your field of expertise. One more quick note on the light itself. The light is very even toned and it doesn't flicker. So this means that when you go to capture drone footage, you're going to get very stellar looking footage. You'll be able to use this footage in all your productions. The footage will be future proof, and hopefully you'll even get paid the big bucks. Wouldn't that be nice? Additionally, it's worth noting that this light is very color accurate and sports a color rendering index, or CRI, of 90 plus. And if you're new to CRI, all you really need to know is that the higher the number, the better the light quality. And a 90 plus CRI is really, really good. This just means that when this light shines on things, it's going to make skin tones look like skin tones, it's going to make shirt colors look like they're supposed to, etc., etc. Let's talk about light brightness. So this light has 3 settings. On low, you're getting 100 lumens. On medium, you're getting 450. And on high, you're getting a whopping 800 lumens. The LitraTorch 2.0 Drone Edition also has 3 strobe modes. This is different than the LitraTorch 2.0. The first one is the SOS strobe. So if you're in trouble, if you're stuck on a deserted island and you need to signal SOS, you can do that with the Drone Edition. It also has a slow strobe, which just blinks slow, and then a third setting that strobes fast. I like to put all my flashlights through rigorous battery tests because I like to see how my measurements stack up against what the manufacturer claims. So I put this light through numerous light tests. I basically tested every setting, low, medium, and high, numerous times. And I recorded those times and found that on low, this light will last roughly 4 hours and 45 minutes. On medium, you get an hour and 20 minutes, give or take a few minutes. And then if you blast it at 800 lumens on high, you're gonna get 45 minutes plus. So sometimes I got like 46 minutes, sometimes I got 40, but it kind of hovered around 45 most of the time. Now that you're acquainted with the Drone Edition LitraTorch 2.0, let's talk about how you can mount a pair of these suckers onto your flying machine. So I'm just going to get rid of all of this for a second so we can bring in the different mounts and talk about those. So Litra manufactures a few different accessories for sending flashlights into the air. They have things like the drone body mount. This is a harness that's specifically designed for Mavic Pro drones. They also have leg drone mounts. That's hard to say. And these are designed for like Phantom Pro style drones that have big square legs. And then last but not least, they have the bar mounts, and these are sort of geared towards the Inspire drone, or any drone that has round rails. I think it's important to note here that currently DJI is kind of the top dog in the drone industry, and so I suspect most of these mounts are sort of geared toward DJI products. For example, you have this body mount that really can't be mounted onto any other drone other than a Mavic. I mean, you can try, but it's probably not going to be safe or even recommended. But some of their other products, like the leg mounts, they cast a much wider net and can accommodate for non-DJI drones, which I think is awesome. So case in point, I own an Autel Robotics X-Star Premium drone. It sort of looks like a Phantom Pro, but it's not. The dimensions are a little bit different. And so despite that fact, I can take these leg mounts and I can throw my Litra lights on my Autel drone, and then I can send my flying carrot up into the sky because Litra manufactured a product that actually works on my drone. So kudos to Litra for that. In the interest of full disclosure, I want to point out that I did have to drill a few of my own holes in the drone leg mounts. I did this because the legs of my Autel Robotics drone are a little bit too narrow for this gap. And so while this brace is designed to be very flexible and not just stick to DJI drones, it was still too narrow for my drone. And so I drilled a couple little holes. It wasn't hard, it didn't take more than 5 minutes. And now they work seamlessly. That being said, if any of the decision makers at Litra are watching this video, perhaps in the future you guys can just extend this little groove, just make it a little bit longer, and that way you can account for even more drones than you already do. You know, if not, that's cool too. I think drilling holes is not that big of a deal. It's super easy, and really I'm just thinking out loud here. And just in case you guys are wondering, the fact that I drilled my own holes here does not impact the way this product is supposed to work in any way. As I already mentioned, these brackets are made with little teeth, and so I can just stick my little Litra mount through the hole that I drilled, and once it's cinched tight, you know, once the light is on there, the teeth will prevent the leg mounts from moving. And so my light will be very secure and very safe, and nobody's going to get hit in the head from a falling light. The third mounting option that Litra offers is called the bar mount. Bar mount basically tells you everything you need to know. This mount is designed to be mounted onto bars. So if you fly Inspire drones or drones that are comprised of carbon fiber rails, this is probably the best option for you. Or if you don't fly drones at all and you just want to put your Litra light on a bike, you could probably also do that with this mount. I've also seen folks on the internet mount Litra lights to their Phantom drones by affixing this to the arm of their propeller. Really, you're only limited by your creativity. Personally, I found that these bar mounts are extremely useful for my Ronin M camera gimbal. Because the gimbal is made out of round rails, I can slide this mount onto those rails, and then I can use it to hold various accessories such as a light, a GoPro, microphone, and beyond. Okay, so before I sign off, I want to show you how these two mounts mount on their respective drones. I'm going to show you how to mount this guy onto the Mavic Pro drone. I'm going to show you how to mount this onto the Autel drone or a Phantom if that's what you have. Then I'm going to mount some lights on both of them and show you how the drones fly with the lights affixed. And after that, we'll say goodbye and I'll sign off. Okay, so in front of me you see my Mavic Pro drone. This is Mavic Pro version 1. I removed the propellers because for the sake of this demo, I don't really need them. And so this harness is specifically designed for this drone, and it can go one of two ways. You can either affix it on top or on bottom, and I'll show you both right now. Let's start with the bottom. We're just basically going to put the drone harness right in between the two sensors. You don't want to obstruct the sensors on the bottom of the drone, because then it might get a little bit wonky. Maybe it won't know where to land or how to land safely. So we're just going to make sure that this piece isn't covering any of the drone sensors. And then once that's done, you're basically just going to take your 1/4 screws and mount your lights straight onto the drone. And then you're going to adjust your drone so that the light is shining relatively straight. And then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Oh. And then you can tighten it with the specific little knobs, because because Litra thought of everything. Okay, that's pretty good. And so there you go. That's what your Mavic Pro looks like with the Litra torches mounted onto it. If you're paying attention, you'll notice that there's very little clearance in between the Litra lights and the tabletop or the ground. And I'm not really a fan of that. I want a little bit more clearance in between the drone, the lights, and the ground. And so what I did there is I just went ahead and I bought some legs for my Mavic Pro. I don't remember who manufactures those, but I'll make sure to look it up, and then I'll list it in the show notes in the description of the video below. And then everybody will be happy. So that's left and that's right. So it's a good idea to have drone legs anyway, because it just gives you a little bit more clearance. And that way when you're flying in the mountains or over gravel, you can just pick your drone off the earth a little bit. And so as you can see with the legs, you have a lot more clearance between the light and whatever the drone is landing on. And no muss, no fuss. The second way that you can fly this harness is on top. So essentially, you're just going to flip it, and you're going to, again, make sure that the rubber band is not obstructing any of the sensors. However, if you do this, you're not going to be able to fly your drone, your lights in this position, and I'll show you why. Because if you take one of the propellers, you can see that the propeller runs into the LitraTorch. So what you're going to do here, you're going to have to rearrange your lights. Basically, you're going to take them off, and this bracket comes with a third little screw that you can stick up top, and now you can mount one light straight forward. And so, you know, if you choose to fly with the harness on top, just keep that in mind. You don't want to crash your drone. You probably won't even be able to take off if the light is in that position. But if you put one on top, no problem. You can just fly away, and now you're going to have less weight on the drone. The battery is going to last longer, and it just gives you different options. And finally, I've seen some people do this. I don't really know why you would want to do this, but it's good to have options, right? But so because the LitraTorch has numerous screw mounts, you can essentially position the light and point it up. And now, again, you can fly your drone and get a different light effect, I guess. If you know why people do this, maybe you can leave me a comment below in this video and key me into why this would be useful from a video standpoint or a drone flying standpoint. Moving right along, let's talk about the leg mounts. This is my flying carrot. You can see why I call it that. It's bright orange. And I already have one of the leg mounts fixed, so you can see how easy it is to throw a light on there. So using your Litra light screw mounts, you're just gonna carefully screw this light on. I said you're gonna carefully screw this light on. There we go. And then you have this little guy right here that you can tighten and then adjust the light as you see fit. Maybe angle it down a little bit. And you can tell that that connection is quite secure. And with any Phantom Pro style drone that has legs, you're not going to need any risers because you can literally move this mount up and down. There's enough clearance between the ground and the light, so you don't have to worry about the drone smashing down and damaging either the drone or the light. That's kind of nice. So on the other side, let's do the exact same thing, except I'll show you the entire process from start to finish. So Litra gives you these little rubber pieces, and they essentially fit into these little slots, which then wrap around the leg of the drone and give you just a little bit more security and peace of mind. Should anything malfunction and go wrong, this thing's just not going to fall out of the sky or drop a light out of the sky on somebody's head. So that's really nice. Okay, so there's my pre-drilled hole. I'm going to Stick this little guy in here. Put a little rubber washer in between. And then I'm gonna just loosely screw on my light. And then we'll make adjustments as needed. Okay, so then, just to be safe, I'm gonna extend that as wide as possible. And then I'm gonna fasten it a little bit more. Take some finesse, which I didn't know I had until now. And then I'm gonna take these little safety pieces and wrap them around the legs, just like so. And now you can see that you have a drone with two super bright LitraTorch Drone Edition lights on it. Look at that, that's so cool. It reminds me of something out of the abyss, like an undersea rover or something. Okay, let's go outside and fly these drones and see what's up.